Hello there, welcome to the 40k chat. I'm going to talk about the Custodes Codex. I'm Ben.
I'm Ali.
Let's begin. Right, so for starters, when you're taking a Custodes detachment, you get objectives secured on all your infantry and your Psychana troops.
Like all infantry characters as well as troops and elites and
characters
everything.
as well, yeah. So that's pretty decent, considering like their low model count. That really helps in any situation.
Like 8 wound characters in some cases.
Yeah, that's true. And they count as an additional model for objective markers. I suppose if they're objective secured, it's not really that important, that bit. But
No, but if they're not, because vehicles as well are a Custodes model, so Land Raiders count as 2 Land Raiders.
That's true, yeah.
They found a use for them.
That's very good, yeah, that's true. And they count as 2 models for lookouts, considering like you can take, what is it, a unit of 3, is it? Or
Yeah, well, because some of the units is a unit of 1. I think it's one of the Terminator units. Can be a unit of 1.
Take a unit of 1. All right. So that's pretty good as well.
Yeah.
That helps with like protecting the characters. If you just take 2 guys, you don't have to worry about that free model rule. They get the martial katars, which work similar to Space Marine doctrines.
These confused me. I had to read them like 4 times, and I'm reading them again. Sure, it's not that complicated.
Basically, just each one has 2 stances. You pick 3 before the game begins, and you have to have 1 as your first one, 1 as your second, and 1 as your third, and it has to be in that order it descends to. But then when the game's begun and you're in your first command phase, the first one you picked activates, and you pick which stance. Each one comes with 2 stances.
The rule is an entire page of the book.
Yeah. This just makes it a bit...
I mean, granted, half of that is just what they all are, but like it takes half a page to just explain how it works.
I just know that each Qatar tends to be related to something. So like one Qatar is just about the fight phase. So like one might involve strength and attack, I think.
Yeah, reading through what they do, like each thing they do is really good.
You'd have to know before. It's a combo between the doctrines and the ones that the Necrons get.
Yeah.
You need to know like how the game's going to go. You need to anticipate it before doing it. So you need to be quite strategic with it.
I think I'd find it easier if they didn't have like faux Latin names as well.
Yeah, give us an example of one, like what you like.
Every model in Emily's army has the Adeptus Custodes keyword. She selects Rendax as her primary Qatar, Dakatarai as her secondary Qatar, and Callistus as her tertiary Qatar. In her first command phase, she selects Rendax Stance 2 to be active. In her second command phase, she can select Rendax Stance 1 to be active, or she can select Dakatarai Stance 1 or 2 to be active, as she has previously selected a primary Qatar stance. She cannot select a Callistus stance, as she must select a secondary Qatar stance before she can select a tertiary Qatar stance. She selects Dakatarai Stance 1 to be active. In her third command phase, she can select Dakatarai Stance 2 to be active, or she can instead select Callistus Stance 1 or 2 to be active, as she has previously selected a secondary Qatar stance. She cannot select Rendax Stance 1, as she cannot select a stance of her previous Qatar. She selects Callistus Stance 2 to be active. In her fourth command phase, she must select Callistus Stance 1 to be active, as it is the only remaining stance she is able to select. Note that this means in the 5th command phase, there would be no Qatar stances available to her, so she does not select one.
Right.
Do you get it now?
I just got there's a heck of a lot of stances mentioned then. I do get it, yeah.
So
I
you pick
understand
3 in like an order. You can't go back, but you can go forward.
Yeah.
So you can stay, let's just say Callistus, because it's the first one here. Turn 1, you could go in Callistus Stance 1.
Yeah.
Then turn 2, you could go in Callistus Stance 2.
Yeah.
Then turn 3, you go in the first stance of your next one.
Yeah.
Turn 4, you go in the second. So you could do it that way.
Yeah, it's just like the doctrines a bit, really.
Yeah, so like you could have
optional.
one active for each turn, but if you want to like blow through them all, you could. So you could be like, stance 1 of my first one, turn 1. Stance 1 of my second one, turn 2. Stance 1 of my third one, turn 3.
Yeah, and then you're done.
And then, yeah, like you could go into stance 2 of your third one on turn 4.
Yeah.
But then you're done. You can't do anything else after that. You can't go back, but you can go forward.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like, that's good because you might find yourself in a situation. It's sort of like you say, it's a bit like a doctrine, but as the game plays out, you might find yourself in a situation where, half your army's engaged in melee and you've got like, you can either use a shooting stance or a melee stance. Well, obviously,
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Pretty much how I play. So it makes them a bit versatile, really.
The first one of Salvus, for example, is add 4 inches to the range characteristic of ranged weapons. That's pretty good for like turn 1.
Yeah.
when everything's quite far away, and then, but like the second part of that is if they don't advance the movement phase and they're not in engagement range, they can shoot twice.
That would actually be good for the second turn, because
Yeah.
then they're getting a bit closer, and then...
Yeah, but if things play out a different way, and like,
Yeah.
say you're playing against like an orc buggy nonsense that's in your face turn 2 and they're fighting you all over, well then, you move into your next one and you go, obviously you'd pick them before the battle, but just as an example, you'd go with Captaris. Each time a melee attack is made against this unit, the hit roll cannot be re-rolled, because now you're in melee. So let's say we did the add 4 inches thing first, and then we went into the no re-rolls to hit. You couldn't then go back and have the shoot twice. You're stuck going forwards.
I get you.
In a different game, maybe you're playing Tau, so you end up shooting them quite a lot before you get into melee. You end up using both stances of the first one. And there's a few like relics, and I think there was a warlord trait or one of the shield captain abilities and stratagems and stuff that let you have both stances at the same time.
All right, yeah, so that like you can benefit from.
Yeah, I think there was one of the regular shield captain commander, which is like the character upgrades, let you have both.
What every codex is getting now, isn't it? Like some form of upgrade for characters. In this case, it's what's it called? The
captain commanders they call them.
Yeah.
So like sticking with that Selvus one, you could add 4 inches to your range of your weapons, which is good because most of their weapons are like 24 inches or so, because they're like bolt guns on sticks. You could have plus 4 inches and shoot twice. They're pretty powerful. So one of the other army abilities, they've all got the Aegis of the Emperor.
Oh, that's it, the Aegis, yeah.
Which is for the Custodes only, I think, just having skimmed through the sheets. But it gives everyone a 4-up invulnerable save and a 6-up feel no pain against mortal wounds, which...
Sounds like Grey Knights a bit.
A bit, yeah.
The invulnerable's nice.
4-up invulnerable saves on all these multi-wound models is... obviously, there's a lot of things that let you ignore invulnerable saves now in the game.
Oh, yeah, like the Hammerhead. Oh, God.
But their basic troops choice, the Custodian Guard, they're 45 points a model.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so you want a bit of protection for that, like, expensive unit.
Yeah. Each model in the army is basically a character. Chaos being the army I know. The Custodian Guard model is similar profile to, like, a Chaos Lord for half the points. Like, they're all really sort of competitively priced characters in an army.
I never actually thought of it like that, to be fair. We've got the secondaries up here, and there's only 3 for them, but the first one's Might of Terror.
Score 4 victory points at the end of the battle round if one or more enemy units were destroyed this battle round and none of your units were destroyed this battle round.
I mean, considering how tough your units are, that's...
Yeah, I mean, it's probably pretty easy to go a battle round without anything dying.
I'm sure someone who's playing Custodes probably knows how to play him, so that probably won't be hard at all to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the only... sort of issue I would see with that though would be that Grind Them Down exists, and I'm pretty sure Grind Them Down exists in the same category.
Right.
But Grind Them Down is 3 victory points if you kill more units.
Right.
So 4 victory points if you kill any units and none die.
That one you'd have to do that 5 turns in a row to get the max. This you don't have to do 4 turns in a row.
Yeah. No,
not in a row, but...
Yeah, 4 turns in the game. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
I do like their Battlefield Supremacy one, though, as it Stand Vigil. It's only 3 victory points, that's the downside, but at the end of the battle round, if you control more objective markers that are not within either player's deployment zone than your opponent does.
It's like a mini Stranglehold. It's Stranglehold, but only in the midfield.
Yeah. So it's pretty good that, like, it means you don't have to overcommit to your opponent's deployment
like you can just sit on, say it's a 6 objective mission with 2 in no man's land, you can just sit on those 2 objectives all game and score 3 points a turn, 5 turns in a row. Even if you only do it 4 turns, like everyone takes Rod every game.
Yeah.
And that only scores you a max of 12 points. So if you consider that you should, like a good secondary scoring you 12 points in a game, turn 1 you move up onto those, and then the rest of the game score 3 points.
That's true, actually.
Because what are they going to do? Kill you off of it?
And also, you are getting if you're controlling more than your opponent, you're obviously getting the primaries as well. I like the last one. It's probably not the best. It's a bit fluffy.
Yeah, definitely fluffy.
You basically pick a Primarch or Supreme Commander enemy as to be marked for death.
Or their most expensive unit if they don't have one of those.
Excluding aircraft. So you've got to fulfill a bunch of criteria to get points. If you kill it, you get 5 points. If you destroyed it in melee with a Custodes or Psychana unit, you get 5 points. And if you've done both of those and it's more than 6 inches away from your deployment zone, you get another 5 points. But on the downside, if that unit itself killed any of your units, each time it does it, you get -2 victory points.
So something like a Mortarion who could just walk through most things in combat.
Yeah.
He kills 3 of your units before you take him down.
That's -6.
Yeah, so you're scoring, even if you complete all the other things, 9 points for that.
It's fluffy though.
It's it's definitely fluffy, and like there's probably situations you can probably build deliberately to kill big stuff like that, but then you might arrive at a table and
Someone's not took anything.
someone's just got like, I don't know,
evenly paced out.
yeah,
points,
like their
stuff.
most expensive unit is like a big unit of intercessors that they don't combat squad, and they just hide in a building for the whole game, and you can't do anything about them.
I didn't think of that. Like, and I like to take Gaz. Gaz tends to kill a unit or two before
Yeah.
he dies, so that's -4.
Well, he's
points.
a supreme commander, right?
Yeah.
So it would have to be him. It takes 3 phases to kill him,
That's very true. Yeah.
one of which Custodes have no psychic, so they can't do any damage in that. So it's going
Yeah.
to take him at least 2 turns to kill Gaz, and if you get into melee with Gaz and he survives for a turn, he's probably killing some of your stuff back.
Yeah, he does do a lot of damage. 4 damage as well. So, and he's going to pace that invulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you turned up to it, like if you came up against someone who had no Primarch or a Supreme Commander, and they just had like an expensive melee unit that they wanted to throw across, I don't know, like my Lord of Skulls or something.
Yeah. Then it'd be
Like they could probably pretty easily kill a Lord of Skulls in melee combat
yeah.
before it did too much. Like it would probably kill models, but all its weapons are sort of 2 damage until it starts smashing stuff, and
Yeah.
even then your invuln stuff bounces. Situational.
Situational. Yeah. Let's talk about Relic or Warlord Trait. I feel like we should talk about.
Should we do relics first, because
Yeah.
they're on the next page, so we don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
flick
So we don't have
around
to
the
flip.
book for ages.
Oh, there's loads in there.
There is a lot of relics, yeah.
Which one did you like? I forgot.
I like the Praetorian plate.
And that was +1 toughness. and-
Yeah, so it's only for Terminators, but it gives them +1 toughness. So
Nice.
considering they're already toughness 5, that makes them toughness 6.
And then you get.
This is very fun. Once per battle in the heroic intervention step, they can basically just teleport into a combat anywhere on the table. So rather than like normally heroically intervening 3 inches into combat, if you have a unit on the table that's in a combat with something, this character can just remove himself from the board and set himself back up next to his friendly unit in combat, as long as he's in melee, and then he just starts killing stuff. So you've got a toughness 6 Terminator character just teleporting into combat, it's like the Incarn that, you know, the Eldar.
Doesn't
God thing.
the Sanguinor do something similar as well?
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah,
Yeah. It's a nice fun rule, that.
yeah.
I like stuff that like teleports up the board. Like,
Yeah.
Grey Knights have a few of that. And
Well, like looking through the rest of these, there's the odd like weapon replacement. You know, a fun, like they've got a strength 10 grenade launcher that's AP4 and D3 plus 3 damage. Just being able to like pick a unit off the table and put it where it needs to be, because Terminators are slow, like they have a hard time getting around, and normally
Yeah.
when you're deep striking or teleporting there's a whole 9-inch away requirement, but this is just stick them straight in somewhere.
we're not really looked at the Sisters of Silence relics, have
No,
we?
it's true. I've read their Warlord traits. They've got a really good Warlord trait, the Sister of Silence.
Right, we'll come on to that in a
Yeah,
second.
we'll do that in a minute.
What other relic is there? Ooh,
So they've got
tasty.
2 weapons, or they've got a 4-up invulnerable save and a -1 to hit and wound against them. That's quite good. The enhanced Void Sheen cloak.
4+ invulnerable, attacks against the bearer, subtract from the hit roll and wound roll. Okay. But I think they're toughness 3.
I think they
aren't
are toughness 3,
So,
yeah.
but I suppose that should be compulsory.
Yeah. Well, they're a bit weird. Like, I mean, I like the Sisters of Silence. They've got cool models and like the whole psychic interference stuff, but it is a little odd having a book full of toughness 5 Terminators with a load of toughness 3,
Yeah.
power armor in it.
You've got stuff that is hard to wound with basic infantry and stuff that's easy to wound with basic infantry.
Yeah. But something like that would help keep, like, if you did want to run
Yeah.
all Sisters of Silence,
That would help.
that would help like a lot to keep your character alive. Plus, if you are running like an all Sisters Silence army, these are your 3 choices for relic to take. So.
Only 3 relics.
Yeah. So, the other 2 are helping with damage output, which I don't think they really struggle with like they
No,
are.
especially against psychers. They're just gonna,
Yeah. So what their one weakness, if as it were, would be keeping them alive, and that's the only relic that does that. So I think by default that.
Yeah, that should be their default relic. Let's look at Warlord traits then.
Yes.
You liked the Sisters of Silence one, you
I
said.
did, yeah. It's the Silent Judge. So it's 2 parts. It's when an enemy unit is within 3 inches of this warlord. The first part's pretty nothing. It's just one of the combat attrition modifiers they like to put in all the books. But the second part switches off objective secured, which, bearing in mind that
Oh yeah, your army is all subjective.
this warlord would be objective secured.
So that instantly,
Yeah.
if you got charged by a 30-man squad of boys,
Yeah.
or a 30-man squad, you just walk to them,
Yeah.
and just make them not, and you get the objective off them.
Yeah.
But you would be sacrificing your character.
You
to
would be
do that.
sacrificing your character, but I don't think their characters are like crazily expensive.
No, I don't think. Radiant Mantle. So yeah, that one subtracts 1 from the hit roll when they're in melee. Is it in melee or just? Just in
No,
general.
just attacks.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's all
So
right.
it's melee or ranged. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be good on your, because you were eyeing up the banner dudes.
Yeah.
Give him that, and then he can do something else with his banner if you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet there's a real good one there. It's just not sinking in.
I'm going to talk about Trajann Valoris because we're going to talk about him in a minute. His Warlord trait, he's got 2. Master of Martial Strategy and Champion of the Imperium. So the Master of Martial Strategy is you get like a command point refund on a 5-up.
Nice.
Which is always nice, yeah. And then once per battle, you can change the order of your martial katars.
Oh,
so
okay.
when we're talking about you can't go back. Well, if Trajan's
with
your
him you
warlord,
can.
which he has to be. The second one he's got is he can heroically intervene 6 inches, and when he attacks, you reroll a hit roll.
God. And he's already pretty good from what
Yeah.
I've heard. Right, we're going to talk about shield hosts now.
Okay. Do you have a favourite one, Ben? Because I've got a favourite one.
Right, these are just basically like the sub-faction. I don't really have a favourite one yet, so
Okay.
I'll let you go
So
first.
I like the Emissaries Imperatus.
And why is that?
So they've got 2 traits. The first of their 2 traits is that their units fight first in combat.
Okay.
So
Right, I didn't know that. That's good against like Slanesh and stuff.
yeah. And again, to bring up Trajann Valoris, something we noticed is that he has the shield host keyword,
Oh yeah.
which would
So
mean that
he would fight first.
he would get the traits of the shield host. I don't know if they'll
FAQ it.
they might take that away from him because most of the name characters are not given shield
Yeah,
host
I know,
or
yeah.
like
I can't think of.
clan cultures.
I'm sure there is one character that is like.
in any book or in this book. Or-
In any book.
So the sisters' characters aren't.
Okay.
So like Celestine, Morvenn Vahl, and the Triumph of St. Catherine, they don't have order, like the
Okay.
order keyword. But the name characters in here have shield host
Okay.
because Valerian's got it as well. So the first thing is they can fight first. So that's cool. And then the second thing is you can ignore any modifiers to hit and wound. So if they've got minus whatever to hit, minus whatever to wound,
They just ignore it.
you ignore it, yeah.
Fight first and ignore those.
Yes. Hitting on 2s, because pretty much everything in this book hits on 2s,
What the hell?
and fighting first, yeah.
The Sanguinary Guard, they get -1 to hit in combat,
Yeah,
don't they?
but not against Custodes. Well, not against these Custodes. They've got a stratagem, which costs 2 or 3 command points, depending on the size of the unit, that lets a core unit move before the game.
What the heck?
Yeah. You know, you can get like a unit of Terminators across the board a bit early if you weren't deep striking them. You can move a Contempt to
That's really
Dreadnought
handy,
up
that.
across the board. The
Does it include Contempt to Dreadnought? Yeah.
their core, yeah. Everything in this
Oh.
book,
Oh.
except for the Land Raider and the Sisters Rhino, is core or a character.
Oh my god.
The jet bikes, they're core, and they move 14 inches, so they can move 14 inches before the game.
Does it say at the end this stratagem can only be used once?
You can only use this stratagem once.
Okay.
But you run a unit of 6 bikers,
6 bikers, exactly.
move 14 inches
Or
pre-game,
just
14
or
inches
a suicide
turn 1.
character.
No, it's only core. Can't do it with a
Oh,
character.
okay. Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Their Warlord trait is plus 3 inches to the range of their auras, so like reroll auras and stuff. That's not nothing, but I think you'd probably take a different Warlord trait. Although you'd be taking Trajann Valoris, so Warlord traits are irrelevant.
Or you could do, right, hear me out, somehow get your Blade Champion up,
Yep,
give him that aura,
yep,
and he'd be within range of your 28-inch moved bikers.
it's true. Yeah.
Somehow. I don't know how he'd catch up, but...
Well, hang on, because there's a combo here that I should mention. So you move your unit of bikers 14 inches before the game,
Okay.
and then you move them 14 inches on your turn.
Yeah.
There's a stratagem that lets a unit move twice, but it can't shoot or charge. But you got a captain on a bike. He moves twice. He keeps
Oh
up
my
with that
God,
unit
yeah.
that moved pre-game and then moved in turn 1.
Oh, right. So
He's
you
not
can-
fighting this turn, but
But he's giving them
he's
their aura.
given the Azora, yeah.
That's really good.
I've lost the stratagems now.
I believe you. I believe you. Don't we?
Here we go.
It's a relic for the jet bike, isn't it?
Is that what it was?
I think it was.
It's not a stratagem. It's a relic. It's the Auric Aquilus. Lets the bearer reroll charges, unless they can already reroll charges, and then they get +1 to their charge. But the second part is, in the movement phase, when they're selected to move, it can boost. If it does so, it doubles its move characteristic, but it can't shoot or charge. So that's how you do it. You move the bikes 14 inches pre-game, you move them 14 inches turn 1, and then you move your biker captain with that relic 28 inches turn 1, so he keeps up.
Jeez.
Obviously, he can't charge, so if they ended up charging really far away from him,
Yeah.
they'd fall out of
But
his aura.
28 inches is quite a big distance.
Oh, yeah.
And if you give him that Warlord trait,
Well, that gives him a 9-inch aura.
yeah, so it should be within range to like
Yeah, like
give him a whatever buff they give. Did he actually give buffs or did he just?
Yeah.
Comment.
While a friendly shield coast whole unit is within 6 inches, reroll hit rolls of 1.
Yeah, so that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Especially since they hit on 2s.
Yes.
The one I like now, well, going on to my shield host after having a little bit of a look, I like the look of the Solar Watch. +1 to advance and charge rolls made for units with this trait. If a unit with this trait has the Vanguard ability, it says add 7-inch to the move characteristic of models in that unit instead of 6. I need to look what that.
That's the one that the jet bikers have that lets them auto advance 6 inches.
Okay, sweet. So it just changes to 7 with that. Units with this trait are eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which they fell back. That kind of basically is like your fight first.
Mm-hmm.
Just pull out and then go back in again.
Yeah. Sounds like fight first with extra steps.
The stratagem is the Eagle Strike. Yada yada. In any phase when an enemy warlord is destroyed by a Solar Watch. I think that's the one you didn't like. Until the end of each time a combat attrition test is taken for an enemy unit, subtract from a test. Yeah,
every book they publish has to have at least one thing that's like +1 to combat attrition tests or whatever.
I collect Night Lords. I'm not looking forward to what we might be getting. The Warlord trait, that's called Sally Forth. At the start of your charge phase, select one friendly Solar Watch infantry unit within 6 inches of this Warlord. Until the end of the phase, that unit is eligible to a charge in a turn in which it advanced. Infantry. If they could somehow keep up with the bikes that you're... if I did that double advance thing with the bikes.
Well, it helps on because their infantry moves 6 inches, even the Terminators, which is fun. Move 6 inches, advance 3 inches, and charge. 9-inch move in Terminator armor is pretty far. And then turn 1, you get your bikes in combat. Turn 2, you get those in combat.
Oh my god, they've given. I'm not sure I'm a fan of these. Right, some of them have relics that replace Guardian Spears. It doesn't increase their damage. It just one of them I think is increased the strength, and this one's just increased the AP. I don't even think it's on that. The Shield Host one, right? It's called Swift Silver Talon. It's rapid fire 1, strength 4, AP -2, damage 2, and then the melee it's +2 strength, -4 AP, 2 damage. I have no idea what that's like with the
just an extra pip of AP on each thing.
Yeah.
Which,
oh my god! And then if you look at the Paragon Spear for Emperor's Chosen, right, it's rapid fire 1, strength 5, -1 AP, but instead it's +3 strength in melee, so an extra strength basically, but it's -5 AP.
Well,
it's that. Oh my god!
Trouble with AP at the moment as well, though, is everything in the game's got an invulnerable save, so at a certain point AP becomes
So I suppose I'm just not a big fan of them just doing that with those relics. They need to add an extra damage or something.
Yeah.
Even after a point, just an extra bit of strength doesn't really do much.
Well, when your book's got 10 units in it and 3 weapon choices for each one, you run out of things that you can make.
This is +2 strength as well. That means he's going to finish strength 7.
Yeah.
It's not really good. It's going to help against vehicles, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right, we're going to talk about Sisters of the Silence now, about how they're in the Codex. Were they not in the original, the Codex before?
So they were, but they were all... they didn't have any characters. So they had a special rule that was you can bring the Vanguard detachment without requiring HQs.
Okay.
But now they've got HQs, troops, elites, fast attack.
Have they?
I think they all used to be elites. I might be wrong. But I think each of the choices was an elite's choice. But now they've made prosecutors, which is just the version with the bolt gun, into a troop's choice.
Oh, okay.
And they've made Alea, who's one of the 2 Black Library characters, used to have to take her and Valerian, and they were a unit together.
Oh, but
now you can take them separately, so you can just take one or the other or both. But she's an HQ, and they've also made the Knight Centura into an HQ. So that's I think it was the unit leader.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit do you know how in 7th edition Harlequins, troop masters were just the sergeant for the squad, and now they're...
Oh, yeah, because they didn't have a HQ, did they?
They gave them an HQ in 8th when all the detachments... They've done, I think, a similar thing. They've taken the unit leader and made it into an HQ.
Okay, right, I get you.
They are all toughness 3. They've got, fairly similar stats to sort of Sisters of Battle in that toughness 3 up armor save. But...
Good anti-psychers, though.
Yes. So I think they can never be targeted by psychic powers.
That's good.
Yeah. Cannot be targeted or affected by psychic powers. Each time a psychic test is taken for a unit, subtract 1 from the total for each unit with this ability within 18 inches to a maximum of -3.
That's so good.
And then each time you target a psyker or a demon, add 1 to wounds. Thousand Sons have a pretty rough time against them.
Yeah, my God, they just
Grey
you
Knights.
could just have a whole army just made for against Falcons.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what they did again.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that though.
Well, obviously Grey Knights are really strong at the moment, like with their
this
newest
would be
book,
like
so it helps a lot against them. It just says, no, you can't ever smite me.
Can't teleport away from me now.
No, you're going to have a hard time casting your hammer hands and whatnot onto your Dread Knights.
Can't. Yeah, God. So they're a good support for him.
Yes, yeah. I don't know that like running an entire army of them is going to be winning any tournaments anytime in the near future, but
as a support, you could just have a detachment just to support your other Riparian stuff.
Well, yeah. You just bring a few if you play in like a group that's got a lot of psychic users. They're just a good thing to have.
Well, it's a good chunk of cheap. I suppose cheap. I'm saying like bolt guns.
Yeah.
Just like a cheap infantry squad.
I think they are pretty cheap. Like if you consider that the Custodian Guard are 45 points a model, the Prosecutors, which is their troops' choice, is 12 points a model.
So about 4 of them is like just a bit more than 1 of him.
Yeah.
Goodness me. And he's got the same amount of wounds as them.
Yeah. But they're pretty glass cannony. Like they're Vigilators, which is the ones with the swords. They're in the Elite's choice. They've got 2 attacks each at strength 5, AP 3, damage 2. They hit on 3s and wound on 3s against most things.
Right.
Which is good, and it's 2 damage, so it kills Space Marines.
Strength 5, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No, it's the same as with the the Prosecutors. I think people who run Sisters of Silence and just want to run Sisters of Silence, this book's
it's perfect for
a lot better for them. But I think if you want to compare Vigilators to Alaris Terminators or other things in the Elite section, but like you say, just maybe bring in a small detachment with some just as a sort of a tool in your back pocket to counter some psychic stuff's pretty good. The Witch Seekers, which is the fast attack version, I think they're only fast attack because they can move before the game.
Oh, okay. Oh, a bit like Pathfinders, and stuff.
But the transport that they're in can move before the game.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So load them into a Rhino. They can only move 6.
Oh, okay.
It says start the first battle round before the first turn. This unit or the transport they're in can make a normal move up to 6 inches. You can scoot them forwards. They've got assault. They've got flamers, AP1 flamers.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Against orcs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The flamers are always good against orcs.
I find them a little bit hard to get very excited about as like an army, but I do like the idea of maybe bringing like a patrol.
Yeah, just to, like as a deterrent and stuff.
Yeah, especially with the amount of people playing Grey Knights and Thousand Sons and stuff.
Yeah.
So should we do top 3 units next?
Normally we do a top 5, but we're going to do a top 3 units because this
top 5 would just be half of the units in the book.
The top 5 would just be literally, like Ali said, half of the book.
Can we just list half the units? Yeah.
So what did we pick for 3? Because I still
for 3 we picked the banner bearers.
Oh yeah, because there's just so many of them. And
so there's 2.
That's loads, man. It's like half the book.
There's the Vexilus Praetor and the Vexilus Praetor in Alaris Terminator armor. But the reason you bring them is because of the banner.
Yeah.
So the body that the banner's with is pretty much irrelevant. The banner is my third favorite unit, I think.
Well, you could what are the abilities? Sorry, of the banner bearers? Sorry.
So the one they come with by default gives the benefits of light cover, which isn't that relevant because they're already 2-up saves, and the Custodian Guards with the shields are a 1-up save because they get +1. So that would actually make them a 0-up save, which is pretty good. So that's, it's not nothing. Then the next one they've got is +1, so they can replace the banner, but you can only take 1 of each banner. So if you wanted to take like 3 banner bearers, they'd all have to have a different banner.
Right, okay.
The second banner is add 1 to the attacks characteristic of each model in a unit. So
that helps their like low model count of it.
Yeah, so if we go back to the Warlord trait for +3 to the auras, that affects these because they're all auras.
Oh, okay.
So you deep strike in a Vexilus Praetor with the Terminator one because they can deep strike. You deep strike him 9 inches away from where your jet bikes are going to charge into, and he gives all your jet bikes +1.
Oh my God. Oh my.
And then the third banner you can take gives the benefit of dense cover.
Oh,
and if you're affected by dense cover, you're -1 to be hit.
It's -1 to be hit.
Yeah. So that gives all your toughness 5 2-up save multi-wound guys another way to survive.
To survive a little bit. That should be like an auto take, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd say definitely between the +1 attack or the -1 to be hit, because going back to the army I play, I like to run a Dark Apostle to give my Lord of Skulls -1 to be hit. But if I could give every unit within 6 inches -1 to be hit, well,
is dense cover only for shooting?
Yes.
All right, okay.
But if you end up in a situation where you need to survive in combat, you haven't killed something in combat. So.
Yeah. Well, these banner dudes, like, especially the one in the Terminator armor, basically. Like, you like that relic, don't you, where you can teleport as a heroic intervene?
Yes.
If he had that, he could just like teleport as a
stick the
heroic
banner into
intervention
combat. Yeah.
to like help out.
Did I mention that the one in Terminator armor has 7 wounds?
7 wounds.
I think all the Alaris Terminator characters have 7 wounds.
Oh my god.
So I think the shield captain does as well.
So they're quite durable.
Oh, sorry, the shield captain has 8 wounds.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's the mini, like, Kalyar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's just like the generic one.
Yeah. A regular Alaris Terminator has 4. So yeah, I like the banners. I think all 3 buffs are useful. I think the +1 save light cover is not that important when you're already all on 1 or 2 up armor saves.
There was a good stratagem I found with Valoris. This is just like with the banner dude.
Mm-hmm.
But Teleport Homer. They have Teleport Homer keyword, don't they, the Alaris?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. When you select him to move, you can remove him from the battlefield. And in the reinforcement step of the movement phase, set that unit back up on the battlefield within 3 inches of a friendly Vexilus, Praetor, or Alea model.
Well,
I get why Alea, because in the lore, I remember in the book, I remember reading that I think, what's his name now? He gave her like a relic, like a gift. It was actually like to teleport to her or something.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So you can teleport to him.
Yes. Oh, to him. Yeah, not from him.
So is the unit that teleports has to have the teleport Homer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but like you
in the movement phase.
So here's what you can do. So that happens in the reinforcement step.
Yeah.
Okay, so you deep strike him on turn 2, 9 inches away.
Yeah.
Then you deep strike a unit of Praetors within 3 inches of him.
Yeah.
Using that ability rather than their normal one, and they can deep strike 6 inches away from an enemy unit because they can go within 3 of him.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. A 6-inch charge.
Oh, actually, no, sorry. It starts to be more than 9 inches.
Oh, does it?
Sorry,
okay, well then that's not that exciting. I mean, it's not nothing, but they can. I suppose if they're already on the board, right, they could deep strike. It lets them deep strike if they're already on the board. Turn 1, raise a banner. Turn 2, deep strike onto where he's deep strike to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it helps like a bit mobile.
Yeah. Terminator units, people often just hold into reserve to deep strike on turn 2, but this way you can do that and also have them do something on turn 1 as well. So that's pretty nice.
It's pretty sweet. Next, number 2. We didn't pick a number 2, did we?
It's got to be the bikes, though, doesn't it?
The bikes, yeah. To be fair, I just like the speed of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the missile launcher thing, the salvo launcher they have is pretty cool, but I feel like don't they already hit hard in melee?
In melee, they're strength 7, but they get +1 to wound if they charge.
Yeah.
So if they were winning on 3s, they're winning on 2s.
And what's the damage?
Damage 2, AP 3. So it kills Marines. It plinks wounds off of vehicles and stuff. They've got 4 attacks each, and you can bring them in a unit of up to 6. So it's an expensive investment, but
so maybe the launcher's maybe not a bad shout actually.
Yeah,
the launcher does a lot of damage, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the salvo launcher is strength 8, AP 4, D3 plus 3 damage.
I'm loving all this D something plus now.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time. It's like that.
So there's nothing worse than shooting like a las cannon and rolling a 1 for damage.
Or rolling a 2, or re-rolling it to a 2, and it gets -1 damage anyway.
Yeah. Watch the last battle report. But yeah, like they're fast. They've got tricks like they've got a stratagem in here that lets a unit fall back and shoot. Yeah. So they can charge something, fall back, shoot something else. It's a 14-inch move they've got, so they can charge into something, then jump back 14 inches onto an objective, shoot something from that objective, then next turn go off somewhere else. They're 5 wounds each with a 2-up save.
Yeah, 2-up save bikes. Yeah.
So a unit again, if we go back to bringing a big unit of 6 of them, which is making like a super killy, powerful big unit. That's 30 wounds to shoot through. They're not obsec, sadly, because they're not infantry. But
you can have a biker leader, a HQ leader who's basically them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He gets all those benefits, plus you can have a Warlord trait where he can fall back and charge still. Is it a Warlord trait or a Relic?
It's one of the Captain Commander
That's
abilities.
a Captain Commander.
Yeah.
That was it.
Lets him fall back and still charge.
Yeah, we've not really talked about them much because we think they're a bit lackluster, really.
Yeah, like there's some really good ones.
I mean, they're worth paying for a bonus, but
Yeah, like you might as well bring one. I think this is the type of book. It's you know how with Imperial Knights, all your stuff is so expensive that by the time you've wrapped it right in your list, you're like 10, 15 points short.
I've got these.
So you might as well spend them on those. But yeah, like if we count the shield captain on the bike as the same as the guys on the bike, being able to fall back, shoot with that stratagem, and then charge again because he's got the same weapons as they do.
Yeah.
He's just got more attacks, 6 attacks.
And you can just give him that relic for speed boosting and stuff like that. Is it reroll charges and stuff that he gives himself?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's not half bad.
No. So I think I think all the stuff on bikes is good. I think all the stuff on bikes has always been good, but I think it's still really good.
What toughness are they again?
Toughness 6.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They have vehicle keyword, don't they?
No, they don't. They have the biker keyword.
Right, well, there's a stratagem here, Arcane Genetic Alchemy. Use the stratagem in any phase when an Adeptus Custodes unit from the army, excluding vehicle units, is selected as a target of an attack. Doesn't say shooting or...
Yeah, no, that means both then.
Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made against that unit on a modified wound roll of 1 to 3 for that attack fails, irrespective of any abilities that the weapon or the enemy model making the attack may have.
So it's transhuman physiology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 1 CP for a unit of 3 or fewer models, or 2 CP for more. That's pretty good, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Like, the things that are wounding these things on 3 are also the types of things... Like, the things that is stopping are typically things like melter guns or...
Yeah.
Las cannons, like anything higher than strength 7, which would be wounding them on 3s.
Yeah.
So it's stuff that's going to, like, one-shot a bike, basically.
Yeah, that you don't want. Like the hammerhead. You're like, hammerhead, here we go.
Yeah.
So don't everyone be crying about how good the hammerheads are.
Yeah, just play Custodes.
Should we talk about number 1 then on our list?
Yeah, I think there's no contest.
I think everyone's been saying this dude is number 1 on their list.
It's Trajann Valoris.
Yeah.
He is 170 points, although if the leaked points changes for chapter approved or to be believed, he's about to be 160 points.
Well, he was a bit expensive.
I think you could pay 200 points for him and still be pretty happy.
Yeah.
So he's strength 5, toughness 5 like everyone else, but he's got 8 wounds and a 2-up save. He's got pretty normal shooting attack.
Melee's pretty good, though.
His melee is good, yeah. 6 attacks. He's got the Misercordia, which is a weapon that most of the units can take that just gives them an extra attack. It's like a Custodes chainsword, I think. So he comes with, he's got a 5-up feel no pain on top of all his 8 wounds and his 2-up save.
My God.
Yeah. He has to be a Warlord, so he has the 2 Warlord traits we mentioned before. The 6
again.
So it's the one that lets you farm command points.
Oh, yeah, so he farms command points.
And the one that gives him a 6-inch heroic intervention.
So good. He just hits like a beast.
Yeah.
He's got some good support abilities.
Yeah, he's got the reroll hit aura that all of the shield captains have. But his ability he has that they don't have is Moment Shackle, which is once per battle you can do one of the following. At the end of the fight phase, if this model's within engagement range, it can fight again.
Fight again for free.
So that's a 3 command point stratagem or 2 or 3 command point stratagem for most books to fight again that he gets for free.
Yeah, my God.
When a saving throw is failed for this model, the damage characteristic of that attack is changed to 0. So when your 12 damage Storm Surge hits him, you can just go,
nice.
I think I'll keep him alive.
Keep him alive, yeah.
Or he can, after an enemy unit is fought, if he's eligible to fight, you can fight with it next. So he gets to interrupt. Or you just run the shield host that lets you fight first, and then he can do that anyway.
That one where he fights again, does it happen at the end of the phase or just you pick?
At the end of the phase.
Oh, okay. Because I think there was I was going to say there's a stratagem in there for Custodes. That's really Custodes. Sorry, that's really good. I think it's 1 CP and you pick a unit that's on an objective, and it's basically the counter-offensive stratagem, but 1 CP.
Yes, they do have that. Yeah.
But you can only use it on a unit that's on an objective. But that's still it means you could use that stratagem twice in a sense.
Yeah.
Because you've got the 2 CP one and the 1 CP one.
Yeah, you have a unit fight and then the character supporting them fight after as well. You use one on each of them. The other thing, that Warlord trait, one of his Warlord traits also lets him reroll hits. So he's hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
So he's really good then.
He's really, really good.
And the best bit of all is he just has, shield host in brackets keyword.
Yeah.
So that means it can be taken in any shield host.
Yeah, and he'd get the trait for the shield host. So
oh my god!
If we go back to the
ones we liked,
yeah, like he getting to fight first all the time.
Me always can fall back and charge.
Yeah, like there's just some silly things you can do with that. Like I don't know if they'll change that because most of the time with a named character they just come with their keyword and they have to have that. But
it's just insane that.
Yeah.
It's defo an auto take really for me. I don't even have him, and now I want him. I'm surprised this has not been a Games Workshop's #1 bestseller.
You'd be a fool to not bring Trajann Valoris if you're running a Custodes list. Is
it the cost of 2 guys?
Well, a shield captain, just a regular shield captain on foot, is 110 points. So
right, yeah.
He's
for an extra
60 points.
Yeah, he's
worth it. Hang on, he comes with a Misericordia, so let's include that. So he's 55 points more than the Misericordia. That's the Custodes chainswordy thing. If we're comparing his points to another character, we should give that character the Misericordia.
It's always worth having an extra attack, really.
Well, yeah.
Especially for like these guys. I don't know, actually, no, really. Like if you've had 11 models, that's 55 points. You may as well just get another guy.
Yeah.
It's more wounds in it.
Yeah, I think that's probably worth it on characters, I suppose. I mean, it depends. I think it's just another one of those where if you've got some spare points left when you finish writing your list, it's the cheapest thing in the book. You know. Also, it's only 3 points on the Misericordia. Is 3 points on a non-character. Trajann Valoris is the same cost as a shield captain on a bike. He's not as fast, but with his other stuff, he gets pretty good. Also, they do have a stratagem. He doesn't have the deep strike teleport ability that the Terminators do. So that's like his one drawback. But they have a stratagem. Use this stratagem before the battle during the declare reserves and transport step. Select one Custodes infantry, tick, biker or dreadnought unit from your army. That unit gains the From Golden Light ability, which is their version of teleport deep strike. So if for whatever reason you wanted him off the board for a turn, there you go.
You can teleport him on.
You can teleport him straight on, yeah.
Let's go in the FAQ.
Yeah.
There's a strat I really like, though, that I feel like would be good for him. I think, well, to be fair, I think it'd be good for any unit in this army.
Oh, yeah, like all of them would be.
For the Custodes. 1 CP for a unit that's 4 or less models, otherwise it costs 2. And it all basically does is your opponent cannot re-roll hit rolls, wound rolls, or damage rolls against that unit.
Doesn't have to be core.
It just says Custodes.
Oh.
So that could be a vehicle.
Yeah. Land Raiders. The Land Raiders back. Back in a big way.
The last thing I want to mention with stratagems is they're mostly just 1 CP.
Yeah, there's one or there's a few of them that become 2 when the squads are bigger. But
yeah, but the problem with them is they're a bit inconsistent. Some of them say 3 or less, and then some say 4 or less.
Yeah,
and that's just going to be like open to error with people. People are going to forget which one.
I think most of the time with Custodes, unless you're building like a big killing unit of bikes, most of the time you're probably running small squads anyway. Yeah, because like some of the units can be
minimum size units. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like Alaris Terminators could even just be 1 model, so like you could just run.
Well, when you say that, you can have there's a strat that lets you split the Custodes Terminator squad.
Yeah.
So each model in that unit becomes its own unit. So you could have a 5-man squad and then just split it into 5 units of 1.
It's like a super combat squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a stratagem. I can't remember its name, but I think it's 1 CP because most of them are.
Do you like Custodes, Ben?
I do like them, yeah.
Are you finally going to paint your Custodes and use
they're
them?
already sprayed gold.
Well, that's 90% of the work then.
Yeah, that's all that is. I'm definitely going to try them against you in our next practice game we're going to do.
Yeah.
Though I've not played them in 8th, though, so I don't really know what they were like then.
Yeah.
So, but I like the look of them now.
Yeah, no, they seem good, and if you've got them, might as well use them.
Yeah, definitely give them bikes a go. You keep going on a bike squad,
so good.
I'm going to definitely use them against you. What do you think about them, though?
I kind of want them now.
Oh, really?
I kind of want Trajann Valoris anyway.
Yeah, beast, isn't he?
Yeah, I want my own version. Can we paint him red?
I do want Valerian and Alea. I like the models. I like the look of them.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that she can just let Hermes deep strike to her.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, so overall, though, I feel like the Custodes Codex is really good. Unfortunately, though, we've got the Tau Codex breathing down our neck. So
yes,
time will tell how good it really will be, this Codex.
It's going to have a week or 2 in the sun, I think.
Yeah, but like you said, there's rumours about those points changes as well.
Yes.
That are already coming, not long after this came out.
And I think they didn't all change, but I think all the ones that did change, units got cheaper. So
All right, so there we go.
Yeah.
So another plus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely excited to use them. I can't wait.
Looking forward to getting beaten by them.
Well, thanks. Thank you for listening. I'm Ben.
I'm Ali.
Hope to see you in the next one.